today on Divorce Court.
I am kind of a little traumatized by marriage due to my last marriage and how I ended it. And this new relationship with Mesha, it seems I'm going down the same road.
I want the judge to tell Rhamu to be more considerate, more compassionate, and more loving.
My biggest problem with Mesha is I don't trust her.
I'm not saying let's get married tomorrow, but you can put a ring on my finger and let me know that this is a motivation for us to get married.
Divorce Court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Mesha Jones and Rhamu Nixon. Ms. Jones and Mr. Nixon, you have been together for 8 years. You have one child together, and you both have children from previous relationships. Mr. Nixon, you were here before.
Yes, ma'am.
You were here when you were divorcing your wife, Yolanda Mayfield Nixon.
Yes, ma'am.
And she's the next one. But I want to go back and take a look at what happened with the first one.
All my clothes bleached up and she done moved out.
Okay.
It's a few items.
I got it.
Few
I got
shirts.
it.
Didn't cost
I got
800.
it. I got it.
You said what was the last straw?
I am done.
Okay. You didn't ask me last straw.
Oh, I'll tell you what the last straw is.
Not paying bills.
You two
A
are
deadbeat.
out there raising children with no
Liar.
concept of what's important and what's not important. You getting brand new cars, vehicles, and rings, and carrying on this, that, and the other. You do not have the income for it. Here's what I'm going to do. $150. You say you owe that. I'm sure you did $150 worth of damage. It is a wash.
So
Goodbye. Oh, I'm so done. This case is adjourned. And you were working my nerves.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, Ms. Jones, why don't you tell me a little bit about how you got together with Mr. Nixon and how the relationship proceeded and how we're here today.
Okay. Me and Rhamu, we met each other 8 years ago. We've been together for 8 years. 6 of those years, we've been monogamous with each other, and I just feel like it's time for us to get married. But one of the main reasons why I feel like he doesn't want to get married is that we have trust issues. He doesn't trust me because one of my exes, and that was the same ex that I was with when I met him. So he feels that's a problem in our relationship. When I met Rhamu, I had 2 kids. They were 10 months and 10 years old at the time. Mm-hmm. So one of my exes has been in my son's life since he was 10 months old. Mm-hmm. And that's becoming a problem now, since that was the guy that I was with when I met him, and we had infidelity issues at that time. Then
so you did continue to have relationship with the ex even while you were dating him.
At that time.
It was a rough transition.
Even when I met Rhamu, he said, listen, you've been with him for 6 years. I already know how it goes because I was married before. And I'm legally separated, but I haven't been with my wife in 5 years. So I know how long it takes to get over someone. So we're not going to really be serious right now. We can just date cordially. So eventually I went back to my ex, and we didn't have any...
Just like he called it.
Right. And we didn't have any relationship. We didn't have any contact at all for about 10 months. But during that 10 months, Rhamu was all that I thought about. So I end up breaking it off with my ex.
And going back with him.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Nixon, is that a fairly accurate recitation of what occurred?
No, not at all.
Well, why don't you tell me what you said?
I'm so honored to be in front of you today, Mr. Judge, and I just hope I get to say the last straw today.
Okay, we'll see.
But the situation was, she said that confirms her cheating. She said, you heard her say 6 years of fidelity, 2 years it wasn't.
Right.
And out of that, when I first met her, let me start from the beginning. When I first met her, she was my best friend. I was going in a transition and divorcing Yolanda.
Right.
After I got to know her, she changed. I didn't know her, but she gave me an ultimatum now, telling me after 8 years, I done wasted 8 years. What we doing now? I said, hold up. I didn't know that we was on a timing, and most women do that. They had a timer saying, we've been together this long. Until we work out the problems we have, I don't see going down the aisle. I've been down the street before, and I don't want to do that again. And I'm traumatized from that last marriage.
Right.
I'm really traumatized.
You and your last wife traumatized me.
Well, yes, and I'm sorry.
Now, Mr. Nixon, let me ask you, what do you see as the major problems in this current relationship that's keeping you from from taking that next step?
The biggest thing is trust. And the trust is if we can work on it. It ain't old trust, it's now. And cheating, and we got to get this clear, cheating comes more than just in the bedroom. You can cheat on situations as we have children, you know?
Right.
The gentleman she did cheat on me with, he was one of the exes that was claiming to be one of the fathers,
Okay.
right? But
I'm
I've
with
been
you.
there since he was 10 months old. In the beginning, you know, women, just like women, she showed me one thing, but was another.
I tricked him, but it takes two
Hang
people
on.
to make a baby.
She pulled the bait and switch. is what you're saying.
Right.
She pulled the bait and switch.
And then another thing, women, y'all always have this list of what's a good man, a provider, a protector, but where's the list at for the woman?
Y'all got a list.
Okay,
Don't
yeah.
lie. Y'all got a list.
Oh,
you
yeah.
want sex, you want cooking, you
Right,
want cleaning.
right.
You want
Hold
to look
up.
nice.
Now we got, no.
You know, everybody got a list.
This is what-
Everybody got a list. Ms. Jones, what do you say about what he's saying about the bait and switch, that you came on sweet and nice, and then when you reeled him in, you turned into somebody altogether
That's
different?
not true. That's what he think. I work just as many hours as he do. I work 4 days a week, 15-hour days. So
Does she cook?
Stop.
That's the only thing he does
That's
is
what she
cook.
give me.
Stop.
That's the only thing he does is cooking. He feel like he's doing everything, you know, and that's only one of the problems is with my ex. You know, another problem is he doesn't know how to stick up for me with his ex-wife Yolanda. You know, for instance, 2 years ago, we went way to Atlanta. I drove him to Atlanta so we can go to his son's graduation. He gets there, call Yolanda on the speakerphone. He didn't know, I guess Yolanda didn't know she was on speaker. And he said, do you have any extra tickets for the graduation? I know you're not talking about for that, B. So I end up staying in the room
She did.
while he went to the graduation with his kids and his ex-wife. I stayed in the room while he went to the graduation. Another instance,
Well, hang on.
But
Let him respond to that.
What I do? She told you what Yolanda did. Now, you remember you ate Yolanda up at the end of the show. If you watched it, you ate her up, to be honest. But the point, I didn't do nothing. And that's what we're going through. She'll
that's
put
the
on
problem.
me.
He didn't do
Stop.
nothing.
She'll put on me what somebody else do. If I put a picture on Facebook just in a suit on, and a woman comment on there, he look nice.
She's mad at you.
Oh, you just, I said, what I do?
I got you. Well, we're talking about Yolanda. I think we should hear from Yolanda.
I don't deal with Yolanda like that, and we don't have no. But
So that must be what they talk about at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning when she called me at 1 and 2 o'clock in the
That's
morning.
not true.
Well,
That's not true.
hang on. Do you have a problem with how often they stay in contact, and how often do
I
you
don't
say
have a
they
problem
stay in
with the contact. I have a problem with what time she contacted him.
So it seems to be that there is an ongoing issue with the ex-wife you had here in 2009. She has sent us some a videotape, and I would like to see her vision of your problems from her perspective.
I'm Yolanda Nixon, formerly Rhamu Nixon's wife from the last show. We're now divorced. Anyway, my take on him and Kamisha. And what I have to say about that is, first of all, I don't know Kamisha. Never formally, properly introduced. Kamisha saying to my ex-husband, is that she feels like she should be invited, to family functions, I'll say. Like, for instance, my son's graduation. Really? We don't know her. He's saying he don't want to marry her. He's not going to marry her. He says she's unstable. She's not marriage material. She can't cook. This is what he's saying. This ain't me. Do I feel like they're going to get married or should be married? I have nothing to do with it. I don't know. I just know what he's told me. And with that being said, I'm out of it.
Well, she said a whole lot before she got out.
Exactly.
Mr. Nixon, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to defend yourself here.
And what is he doing talking to her
against
about our
what she said that you said? Did you say those things, that she was not marriage material and that she couldn't cook and that?
No, that's not exactly.
None of that happened?
Yes, parts of it happened with this situation.
Why is he talking to her about our relationship, though?
Stop.
To come on this show, we conversated, and she said, y'all
You
married?
conversed.
Yes. And she was like, y'all not married. Y'all ain't us. Why did we come in here? And I did tell her right now, no, we not getting married, but I didn't say all the extras that she said. But the same thing I said, I didn't put it on the table. I didn't disrespect her, and I told her the situation is, I work 7 days a week. I'm not jumping off the subject.
Yes,
and
you are.
Why we ain't getting married? She said, why did I tell her for this show? This show was what proponed is, oh, y'all married now? Because I don't deal with Yolanda like that, and we don't have no.
So that must be what they talking about at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning when she called them at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's not true. That's not true.
Hang on. Do you have a problem with how often they stay in contact, and how often do you say they stay in contact?
I don't have a problem with the contact. I have a problem with what time she contacted him. 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as far as the graduation goes, her man went to the graduation while I wasn't invited.
Ms. Jones, you seem very upset.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about this Yolanda issue that hurts you so much?
And I never cheated on her, but she did.
Cheating is not being with somebody and just meeting him. I just met him a couple months ago, and I just got out of a relationship 2 months prior to meeting him. Mm-hmm. So I'm supposed to be faithful to him and in a relationship with him. That's cheating. That's cheating.
And we've gotten past that cheating. I understand what that was. It was a rough transition. You were just together. My question to you is, you're very hurt and distraught about this Yolanda issue, and I want you to turn to him and tell him how you feel so he can understand where you stand.
I feel like he don't stand up for me enough for her. He don't, say things about our relationship like, this is my woman, this is who I'm gonna be with. He's not, he doesn't stand up for me, period.
Do you want to respond to that quickly?
Yes. It's nothing to. She knows Yolanda is not an issue in our relationship, but it's like she shuns what the real problem is.
She wanted the issue.
The real problem is the gentleman she cheated on me with, she creeped back with, but she throws that away. I didn't cheat. She actually cheated. But you know what she did?
Well, when was the last time she crept back?
Right.
Recently. Listen, this is cheating.
Give me a time frame.
Okay. One of her exes caused her to get jumped on due to her child. This gentleman we came to terms with, you're not going to deal with him no more because he caused you to get jumped on. We both agreed on it. A year later, he comes in the house with a brand new pair of shoes on. I said, who bought them? Oh, he did. I said, how he buy them? Oh, I didn't tell him nothing. She lying because how you know he shines?
Okay, I got you. Hang on. Stop it.
Please help me.
Stop it. There's one thing that really concerns me about a car chase and an AK-47, and somebody's got to explain that to me now.
She cutting us off in traffic, following us. And I said, just go to my relative's house. She followed us there, blocks my relative's driveway. So my relative said, oh, you're not gonna move? Okay. And she goes in the house and brings a gun out.
My kid's in the car, by the way.
Do Mesha and Rhamu's relationships with their exes need more boundaries? Tell us what you think at facebook.com/divorce court. Divorce Court will be right back. If you would like your case to be heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Divorce Court. Ms. Jones, you have got to tell me about the car chase.
Okay. One of the days, we kept his sons overnight, a couple days. He was dropping them back off. In the process of us dropping them off, he comes back running to the car. And I said, what are you running for? He told me, Yolanda trying to see who I'm with. So I'm like, it's not that serious. He jumps in the car. She gets in the car and follows us. I mean, actually chases. So he driving around town. I said, what are you driving around for? She cutting us off in traffic, following us. And I said, just go to my relative's house. He said, she gonna follow us there? I said, so what? What can she do? I never did anything to her. Why would I not want to go with my relative? She followed us there, blocks my relative's driveway. So when my relative gets home, she said, can you move out the way? I will when my husband come outside. So my relative said, oh, you're not gonna move? Okay. And she goes in the house and brings a gun out. And that's
my kid's in the car, by the way.
She didn't know his kids was in the car.
Yes, she did.
My relative did not know his kids was in the car.
I mean, it's outrageous.
But she set the tone for that. Why was she following us in the first place?
From beginning again. Mr. Nixon, now listen to me and actually answer the question that I asked, okay? Obviously, there is something very deep and wrong between Ms. Jones and Yolanda. Mm-hmm. If she is riding behind you trying to see who's in the car, she's obviously got a huge issue with this woman. Okay. Do you know what it is and how it got that way?
This issue that we're talking about was a long time ago, and like you said, I'm got out the car and confirmed we was not dealing with each other, nothing, but Yolanda couldn't accept me going on, you know? So she tried to throw a wrench in my situation, which I right there confirmed. Have I ever dealt with you? Have I been with you? She said no. So why is you doing this? It was her emotions. But once again, I didn't do nothing other than stay there. When Yolanda left and her family did that, I instantly stayed there with her and let her know, I'm not with Yolanda, I ain't touched Yolanda. And Yolanda confirmed it. So that was a woman messiness.
Your best course of action at that time was not to engage in a car chase. It is to deal with that woman right there where you stand so you don't put the rest of the public at risk. And if you cannot handle her, if you couldn't deal with it, you should call the police and have them separate you guys. But at no time does one engage in a car chase through the city. It's inappropriate. It's dangerous.
I didn't know she was crazy, Miss Linda. I didn't know. I didn't know.
No,
I was trying to
Mr.
spend time with my
Nixon, I'm
kids.
talking. You should have handled the situation without endangering the rest of the public. Do you hear me?
I agree.
Oh! I got one more issue I want to deal with, and then I got something I want to say. Ms. Jones, you're upset because you believe his child support payments are crippling the family. Tell me about that.
His ex-wife had him for alimony, which was $30,000. Even though he doesn't have it right now, when he do get it, he gonna have to pay it to her.
You understand, though, that his financial obligations to his former family are something that a court set. And you can't be mad about it. If you want to marry somebody who's divorced, you have to accept him obligations at all. So if you're resentful about it, if you're angry about it, put your finger down. If you're unhappy about it, then he may not be the guy for you. But you can't hold that against him because it's an obligation that he has to meet. And I respect him for doing it without having to be chased for it. Do you think Mesha and Rhamu would have a successful marriage? Share your opinion on Twitter and Instagram at Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. You've got something you're dying to say, Mr. Nixon. You got 45 seconds in which to say it.
To use something against somebody that you do for them out of the love of your heart, it's not right. Like when I first met her, and when in the downtime of my life, when I was just leaving and transition from Yolanda, she was there for me. She gave me a nice amount to get my license back, driver's license.
Okay, I don't have time for all that.
Okay.
I don't have time for all that. And it's got nothing to do with anything anymore. Ms. Jones, let me say this to you. You're in a situation where you're asking for a ring, and I don't think the situation is yet cool. You're caught up with his ex-wife. You're very hurt by it. You're very hurt by his previous obligations and entanglements. What I would do if I were you was free myself for a little while, get my senses together, and then approach him in a manner that you both equal and on the table with it. And if she's not satisfying your basic needs, wants, and desires, you need to tell her that and tell her, say, hey, you know, it's not going to go any further. Yeah, let her know what you're thinking so she can make the proper decisions about what you want to do. And you can't be silly with it, Ms. Jones. You can't be hurt and resentful and angry and fighting to stay that way.
Never.
You know what I'm saying? But you are hurt and you are resentful and you are angry and you're fighting for a ring. So you're trying to solidify that sad. I wouldn't do it if I were you. So I would separate, see where I am, and if you two can come together on equal footing, and Mr. Nixon, if she's not what you want, she's not good enough, you could go get somebody else. You really can. But that's my best advice to the both of you. This matter is adjourned.
Well, I came here thinking that, you know, we were compatible for marriage, but I guess not. The judge said I need to take some time out to focus on me, and that's what I'm gonna do. This is it's just crazy.
The biggest thing is I need to know if I can trust her, and we haven't built the trust to be married. And I've been down the street before, and I don't want to do this ever again.